peace in a general sense, and what does that mean, and what does that mean to us? So for me, I think going to these diplomatic events and these different occasions, one of the big things I always try to say when I'm there is that I think minorities really, really do have to stick together. And I think part of it is because I grew up in London. So for me, a multicultural background and multicultural school had a big influence on me. And at some of these diplomatic events and some of these peace gatherings, sometimes I feel a bit upset because I often hear the same comment. And to me, it doesn't really make sense. It's a waste of time. And people say to me, yeah, Toto, on the one hand, it's really good that all this stuff is going on to raise awareness against Asian racism and to spread Asian love. But at the same time, you know, why are people always focusing on other minorities? Why are there always marches against black racism, for example? And I think comparing the suffering of other minorities really is not the way to go. It's a waste of time. Actually, pain is just pain. And so we really shouldn't compare and contrast. Oh, they receive this sympathy and there are these marches to help them, but where are the marches to help us? Actually, if you think like this, what you're basically assuming is that you're docile and you're just complacent and you're waiting for the awareness to come to you. But actually, what you should do is make the awareness yourself. And so this is one problem that I think a lot of my Asian friends haven't faced yet, because they kind of wait for the awareness to come to them and they wait for the events to happen. But actually, I think what's really important is that you do nothing but support the fight against racism for other minorities, and you yourself initiate and encourage the fight against racism for your people. And I think one thing that I found from going to these diplomatic events is that a lot of the Chinese community in London, for example, we all say peace and love and Asian pride and this and this and this. But the problem is it's very hard to actually go out and do something. But the most important thing is that you go out and do things. And I think one thing that I've realized from being in China and being in the UK is that the traditional values of Chinese people, for example, qian xun, don't lose face and be humble, I think, as true as that may be for inside China, in mainland China, actually in the West, racism and stereotypes still exist to such a degree. Things are still so bad that we have to adapt a little bit. We can't just sit back and let it happen. We can't wait for other people to take the torch. We have to take the torch ourselves. And so that's why I think it's really, really important to always speak out, speak loudly. And through that, I think more peace will be found in the end. Because I think right now, a lot of people, a lot of Asian friends, unfortunately, they still hold this idea of not losing face. And actually, I think that it really is time for change. And so we have to be loud and we have to be proud and we have to speak loudly and we have to show ourselves and shout our pride. So for me, that's very important. And I think to me, peace means helping other minorities, being at one with other minorities, being colorblind and sharing love. So to me, that's what peace means in the general sense.